Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to check the HOBBYMATE HB120 AC Duo charger. It's a very big charger that has a built-in power supply and two battery outputs. And in addition, I'm going to show you this Lipo battery bag that was also sent to me from HOBBYMATE. So let's start by opening the box of the charger and see everything that we're getting inside. Inside the box, we've got the instructions manual, the charger, which as you can see is pretty big and it's pretty heavy as well. It weighs about 1.2 kilograms, two banana plugs, two T-plugs adapters, and one banana plug to XT60 connector. In addition, we're getting two boards that will enable you to balance charge the batteries and an AC cable. Before connecting the charger to your AC outlet, remove the sticker. And then you have to choose the AC input voltage. My AC input voltage is 220 volts, so I switched it to 230. But if you live in the States, for example, or in Canada, you have to slide it to the right, and then it's going to be set on 115 volts, and it's going to be compatible with 110 volts. Now let's have a look on the charger. You can see that the charger is symmetric in the center. That's why it's called Duo, because you can charge two batteries simultaneously. And it has a built-in power supplies, which saves you the trouble of buying a separate power supply and a charger, so you have two in one. So on the front, we have these banana plug female connectors. So in order to charge the battery, you have to connect the minus and the plus, of course. Then connect the balance board to the balance socket. And then you can charge a battery between 2 to 6S using this charger. In addition, we've got here the temperature sensor input. No temperature sensor is included in the kit. Over here we have the charging buttons, and on the right side we have a DC in port. It supports between 3 to 4S batteries. So if you want to power this battery on the go or from the battery of your car, you can do it without any problems using this charger. And I think this is probably one of the biggest advantage of the charger that the ISDT D2, for example, is lacking, because this one you can only power from an AC input. In addition, we've got here a 5V 2.1 ampere USB output, so you can charge your phone or any other USB device using this charger. We have a PC-Link mini USB port. And on the left side, we've got another PC-Link USB port, which I'm not really sure why they use two. The AC in and the AC input voltage selector, which I showed you earlier. On the left and on the right, we've got these fans, and I'm going to see how loud it will get later in this video. These are the specifications of this charger. The input voltage is selectable between 110 and 220 volts, and as I showed you, you can use DC between 11 to 18 volts. The charge power for each charger is 120 watts and the discharge power is 20 watts, which is also a very big plus because the discharge current is up to 5 amperes, which is pretty impressive. The charge current is between 0.1 to 12 amperes and it supports Lipo, LiLo, LIHV, NICD and NIMH batteries. Now I'm going to power the charger and show you how the charging process is done. After powering up the charger, these are the menus that you see. I'm going to show you on one side because this is identical and you have the same menus, and this is just one big charger split into two chargers. So in order to change the program type, press this button, then using the decrease and increase buttons, you can choose your battery type. So the first one is Lipo, LiLo, Life, LIHV, and you can also use it as a battery meter. In addition, we can access the system settings here. By pressing start, it will enter, and then you can change all the settings. You can change the rest time between the charge and discharge when you are cycling the battery. This is mainly used for NIMH and NICD batteries. You can set also the safety timer, which means after this set amount of time, the charger is going to turn off itself, and it is used in order to prevent a battery from being overcharged. Never leave the charger unsupervised because you don't want to risk burning your house, probably. Next setting is the capacity cutoff, which means after this amount of milliampere hours will be charged to the battery, it's going to stop the charging procedure. Then you can set the key beep and the buzzers. So the key beep is whenever you press a button, and the buzzer is when the charging process is finished. I'm going to leave both on. Next settings is the input power low cutoff. So it's set to 11 volts. So if you're using an external battery, you can set this voltage in order to prevent the battery from being depleted. Next setting is the external temperature and the internal temperature. The external temperature shows 0 degrees Celsius because no temperature sensor is connected. And you can also load factory settings, so it will restore the charger to its default settings. Next, you can find the version of the charger. I think it can be updated through the USB port, but I'm not going to show you how it's done in this video. In order to get back to the first menu, just press the stop button. The last option in the program selection menu is the battery memory, and you can set up to 9 programs, and then you can preset all the selections. For example, let's set memory 1. You have to press enter, then you can choose the battery type. Let's leave it on Lipo. Pressing increase will take you to the next screen, which you can set the battery volts. So let's say to 4S. Then we can change the current. So let's change it to 1.3 amperes. Then you can select the discharging current, discharging voltage. So this is the end voltage per cell for the discharging process. I'm going to leave it on 3 volts. TVC, which is the terminal voltage per cell, which is the end voltage after the charging process is finished. So for a normal LiPo battery, it's going to be 4.2 volts. We can set the temperature cutoff. So if you're using the external sensor, if it's going to get over 50 degrees Celsius, for example, in these settings, it's going to stop the charging procedure. And in order to save the program, press enter, and now it's saved to the device. In order to use the save settings, go again to the program selection, battery memory, press enter, and then you have to long press the start button in order to start charging the battery using the settings that were saved in this program. So if you want to just charge a battery without pre-saved settings, just connect the XT60 connector or whatever connector that you have, then connect the balance port. Now I'm going to charge this battery on 1.3 amperes. So this is a LiPo battery. It recognizes this is a 4S battery. Now you have to long press the start. We have to confirm or cancel. So in order to confirm, you have to press the start again. Otherwise, the charging process is not going to be started. And now we can see over here that we are charging a LiPo battery 4S. We can see over here the current that we are using, the current voltage state of the battery. We can see the total amount of time that has passed since we started the charging process. And over here we have the program, so it's balance charging this battery. Pressing the increase button will show you the current status per cell. So each cell is currently right now on 3.81 volts, and we have a total row of 6 cells because this charger supports up to 6 cells LiPo batteries. On the other screens, we can see the end voltage, in power voltage, the external temperature, of course, if a temperature sensor is connected, the internal temperature of the charger, the temperature cutoff, the safety timer, and also the capacity cutoffs that we said before. So you can't configure it on this screen, you can just see the current values. One feature that you're missing, that you cannot see the internal resistance per cell, like the ISDT charger, for example, that allows you to show the internal resistance. This charger is lacking this feature. If you would like to stop the charging procedure, just single press the stop button, and now the charging process has stopped. It's not going to prompt you if you would like to stop it or not, so just single pressing it will stop the charging procedure. In order to switch between the available programs, you have to press the increase or decrease buttons after the selected battery type is chosen. So now it's on balance. We can change it to charge, fast charge, storage, and discharge mode. Now I'm going to test how loud it gets. So I'm going to discharge the battery and set it on maximum 5 amperes. And now the battery is being discharged at 5 amperes. And let's see how loud it gets. And now the fan kicked in. The fan is actually pretty powerful, and I must tell you that it is pretty quiet. I expected it to be much louder. You can hear that it's working, but it's not annoying, and this is not as half as loud as my ISDT D2, for example. I just connected the charger adapter to the USB output, and I've connected it to this 18650 battery bank, and unfortunately it charges only on about average of 1 ampere. It started at about 1.15 amperes, so although it stated that it charges on 2 amperes, it's not working, at least for me. And I also used other devices and I didn't get past 1.15 amperes or so. So overall, the HOBBYMATE HB120 AC Duo charger seems like a very solid charger. Of course, I haven't used it for a long time, so I can't tell you if it's reliable or not, but from the build quality and from what I've seen so far, it looks pretty solid. It has some nice features like the ability to charge USB devices and discharge your batteries on up to 5 amperes. And I think the biggest advantage of this charger that it can operate both from AC and you can use also DC. So when you're on the go, you can just connect your car's battery to the charger and then charge your batteries pretty easily. This charger is not a very cheap charger. It costs about $130, but HOBBYMATE also have other cheaper options like the HOBBYMATE Elite, which comes bundled with a power supply and it costs about $40. However, this charger does not support LHV batteries. It has a charge rate of up to 6 amperes and discharge rate of up to 2 amperes, and the charging power is 80 watts. Finally, I would like to show you the battery bag that HOBBYMATE sent me. It's a pretty big bag that will enable you to store about 13 ampere hour 4S batteries or so, and it's made out of special material that is not going to catch on fire if one of the battery is going to burst or something like that. So in order to close it, just use this zipper and then use this Velcro, and that's it. So it's a pretty nice product to have. I've always been careful with my Lipo batteries and probably so should you. So I'm going to put the link to this bag in the description as well. As always, I thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it and you find it useful. If you have any questions about the HOBBYMATE product that I've shown in this video, feel free to ask it in the comment section below. And I'll see you on my next videos. Goodbye.